Greetings and salutations, my name is JW608. Today we're playing Starmade, and it's a bright star. Anyway, I'd like to experiment with factory stuff. And again, I'd like to preface this with, this is not a how-to or a definitive tutorial. This is some lunatic on the internet putting down blocks and seeing what happens. So I'm experimenting and trying to figure out what's going on. The goal of this is not to tell you what's going on, it's to figure it out. Okay, but I would like to look at power and factories, except I scrolled past both of those, didn't I? Let's grab a basic factory, capsule factory, a microassembler. Oh, let's get a standard and an advanced. Let's also grab some reactors. Okay, first of all, let's grab a capsule refinery, and I should probably have some sort of note-taking instrumentation here. Cap ref. There we go. I have a index card here. Capsule refinery. It is on, so it's taking energy. So let's go to space station because we're on a station, and let's look at the reactor, which there is no reactor. Okay, so instead, let's create a reactor. A single block. Why a single block? Because I don't really care about powering this. I want to know the cost, consumers. Reactor, conduit, consumer, mass, stealth, jump inhibitor, scan add-on. What's that? Charge its current, so currently it's charging. JW15201. Effects disabled, nothing's disabled, so let's turn that off and see if that's my capsule refinery. So let's, no, not that. That one. And let's turn that off, and let's station reactor. Consumers, nope, it's still charging. So I don't see the drain of power on factories. Ah, okay, priority here. Factories, consumption is 10. So that's just a base factory. Actually, let me... basic, rest, charge. Okay. So it looks like at rest, except is it not at rest? Oh, come on. There we go. At rest, it is charging nothing, but space station, reactor, priority, and looks like it's taking 50 now at consumption. So it looks like a factory cost 50 or 10 just to have it, and 50 to have it on. I don't want faction, go away. I wanted space station, reactor. This is just the tab menu, priority. Yep, so it looks like it costs 10 to have a base factory. Let's see if it's any different for a capsule refinery. I don't anticipate it is, but you never know. Priority. Yep, and that's 50, and that it starts on, so let's deactivate that. Space station, reactor, priority, 10. So it looks like the capsule refinery and the basic factory are 10 just to have them, 50 to have them on. Space station reactor, priority, 50. And let's turn it off, deactivate, and this should be 10. Space station, reactor, priority, 10. Although it isn't showing up in consumers. Unless it's that right there. Huh. Actually, let's But not faction station reactor. Consumers. Ah, that was the Uzma Watch It. The long stream of numbers is in the consumers and factories. Okay. Let's replace that block. Come on. I'm moving just a little jittery today. Huh. Okay, now I want to know about a standard factory. I'm assuming all these are going to be 10 and 50. Reactor. Consumers. 50 and 10. Okay. And advanced. Station. Reactor. Consumers. 50 charging. 10 at rest. Okay. So it looks like all factory blocks cost 10 just to have them, 50 to have them on. So we're going to count them on 50 being on. So if I wanted to say, oh, wait a minute, that begs the question, what about enhancers? Let's see. Factory enhancers. How do enhancers affect it? Because it's 50 on, should be taking 50 right now, 10 off. So let's do a space station reactor, consumers, 50 and 10. Affect that on 1. Charging. So is that that one like that? Actually, consumption is 50. These do not appear to add consumption. At least not when... Okay, well, they're also not connected to anything, are they, dummy? Yeah, okay, they do add consumption. So my brain turned off. So it looks like... Yeah, see, their total active went from 100 to... or 50 to 100, 150, 200. So it looks like factory enhancers do cost 50 each on. Let's turn this off. And we drop down to 40. So that's 10, 20, 30, 40. So they're basically the same power consumption as a factory. So what was the one I saw? Reactor. Consumers. What's the effect at on that's taking 1 at charge and 0 at rest? Okay. Let's trigger a scan. Because reasons. Don't think that actually helps me. Anyway. So it looks like I can run, because each reactor gives me 100 power, if I'm not mistaken. Size, stabilization, where is it? Recharge. That should give me 100. That should give me 100. So each reactor can run 2 factories on it. Wait a minute, where's my recharge? 200. So in order to do something large, like, let's say I wanted 100, a unit that can produce 100 at a time. So instead of doing math, let's just brute force it and see what that's going to require. Consumption of 1,000. So 100 times... I don't know, why is that, shouldn't that be like 5,000? Oh, because it's off. So let's wait for the consumption to update, because now it's not turned on. Yeah, 5,000. So it's going to take 5,000 energy per second to run 100 large... what is that thing? Factory. That's interesting. So I really need to sit down and figure out how many factories I want in a, or the scale of the factory, so I can figure out how much power, or my power supply I'm going to need, because I don't have capacitors and all that. So if I wanted one that could produce 10,000, I would need 50,000, no, 500. That's 1,000. Let's multiply that by 50. So 10,000 times 50 would be what, 500,000? Wow. Power seems expensive, and that's not all, because let's take these out and look at the, come on, there you go, the chambers, because it seems like the chamber I want alters the cost of living, the cost of factories. Let's see, this is a level 0 reactor, yeah. And that was the menu I needed. So let's specify that as a factory bake time. Decreases factory bake time by 60%, increases factory charge by 166%. So let's see what a factory cost at 100%. So that's 300%. So that should be like, what, 150 a charge? Space station, reactor, consumers. Yeah, 250.01 at charge. Oh, it doesn't cost extra at rest. That's nice to know. Fancy bake factory. Not more at rest. And that's what, 250 at charge, 10 at rest. Okay. And I'm assuming that factory enhancers would scale the same as the others. So let's test that out. So this should be like 500.02. Space station. No, I let go of tab. Consumers, 500.01. And look at that jump, because I'm not producing that much power. So let's deactivate that. So power is, the power chambers treat factory enhancers just like factories, which I figured they would and should. So that means for a factory without any enhancement, it's going to cost 50 power just to run one. Factory with super enhancement, it's going to cost 250 power just to run one. Okay, plus 250 power per every factory enhancer you add, and 50 respectively. But at rest, they're still only charging 10. That's interesting. Okay. Well, I've been JW608, this has been Starmade, and we just took a quick look at factories. We're going to play a little more with factories next time, but I think that should do it for the questions about, my quick questions about power. I'm sure I'm going to come up with more, and you'll probably come up with more. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. Anywho, I've been JW608, this has been Starmade, I'll take you cats later.